Now.
There we go. Hello, everyone, and welcome to another episode of Movie Cast, where we will be breaking down the trailer to Mortal Kombat II. I am your host, Dana, joined by Mr. Danny Martinez, who is Tammy? Johnny? He's tasty. Oh, that sounded
Toasty.
wrong.
Toasty. Oh,
He's
you don't get that
toasty.
reference either.
Oh, wait, I did. Wait. Let's do this again. Welcome, Danny Martinez as Toasty.
There you go. Yeah.
So, how are you doing today?
I am good and excited about the movie. Yourself?
I am excited about it. This is long awaited. We have been waiting for another movie. The first movie dropped in 2001. That was during the whole HBO Max debacle when they released all the movies both on the app and in theaters at the same time. And that's when all the lawsuits came about because it was like, my contract said movie theater. So I saw the original at home, probably along with everybody else, because I was not going to the theaters in 2001. And that was a very fun and exciting.
You mean, 2021, you mean, right? 2021?
Yeah, 2021. What did I say?
Was the lockdown still going on? Was the lockdown wasn't going on in 2021, right?
The lockdown wasn't going on, but it was still early for a lot of people.
Yeah. Okay, gotcha.
And then remember, there was like a second wave that came in.
Right, yeah.
Because I remember they canceled Comic-Con in 21. I was like, I'm not going to go. And then that second wave hit, and it was like, oh no. So yeah. So this was in 2021. Sorry if I said 2021 or no, 2001, whatever it is. I'm dyslexic.
There's a whole different tragic event.
Whole different tragic event. No, we've been through so much. So during that time, at the very end of the movie, I remember Cole was sent on a mission to bring in Johnny Cage. And then that's when The Miz started his campaign from the WWE of like, I want to beat Johnny Cage. And we were like, no. And instead we got Karl Urban from The Boys. So I want to know, what are your initial thoughts on seeing this? And how does it compare to the game? Is that even fair to say? How does it compare to the game?
So the original, the one in the 90s, that pulled a lot of the characters, but it still kind of did its own thing. It still tried to be as grounded and as dark as possible. So when this original one came out, and the second one for that matter, it looks crazy. It looks stupid. It looks nuts. It looks like it's supposed to be. It looks like the video game, and I think that's what's great about it, is that it doesn't take itself seriously and it just has fun with the ridiculous fantasy story. So I wasn't crazy about the first movie when with the focus on a brand new character, and I get what the director was trying to do, because he explained that he wanted Jesus, what's his name? Cole something, whatever. He wanted fresh new eyes. He wanted a character that the people can watch develop into this world and into like the rules of Mortal Kombat and everything, rather than jump into and follow a character that's already aware of a lot of this kind of stuff. So that it makes sense, but Cole was not a very charismatic person. He was not a fun person to follow, and I didn't enjoy his powers. I didn't enjoy anything about him at all. And I think they kind of got the gist of it, which is why I feel like this movie, at least from what the trailer's making it out to be, is that we're going to focus more on Johnny Cage and his experience with everything with fresh new eyes, which is what they should have done in the first place. And then Karl Urban, when they casted him, I was not happy. I love Karl Urban to death. I want him to come back as Judge Dredd. I love him in The Boys. I love him in everything that he does, even in Star Trek. But I didn't see him as Johnny Cage. But I think the trailers kind of, made me feel a little bit better about it. I think it works. So yeah, I'm pleasantly happy and surprised how this is all turning out, and finally, stop with the seriousness and the grounded movies. Finally, we're going back to the fantastical and ridiculous.
No, I completely agree with you. I was not a fan at first when they announced it. It was like, oh, okay. He's kind of really, really serious. And I was worried about him being overexposed because we already have him on The Boys. So I was like, oh, maybe we need someone who's like, because I remember from the video games, correct me if I'm wrong, it was always like this 80s spoof, kind of light-hearted joke, not jokey, but more of a light-hearted version of the other characters that we've seen. And
Hmm.
because he didn't have any kind of like exceptional powers, he didn't have any powers at all. He kind of came across as like he reminded me of Johnny Bravo a little bit. Remember Johnny Bravo?
Yeah. Yeah, I can see that.
Yeah, so it was like Johnny Bravo of the 80s is what
Hmm.
he reminded me of. And I was really shocked that they went with Karl Urban. And I'm still on the fence when it comes to him because it's like he still has that kind of gruff mentality, like,
Hmm.
watch the face kind of way. And so I would have to see more. But at the moment, I'm happy at overall with the trailer, but I just want to see more from Karl Urban and to see what he brings. And if
Do
it's not kind of the same performance, say from like The Boys, because
that's what
that
I
is
was gonna
also like,
ask. Do
yeah,
you think that maybe because of the roles that he has chosen for such a long time, it's like always like this gruff, serious type of guy? Like I said, Judge Dredd, you got the boys.
hmm
What else? Even Bones from Star Trek. He's always so serious and always so like. "Ugh."
right.
So do you think that kind of affected your perception of him? That's why.
I think it did completely. So to me, it's like, are we acting or are we playing the same role that we've
Right.
already perfected for so many years? And so I really want to see him blend in more with what is. I want to see the movie itself to see how he, portrays that. But I think we're gonna still get that kind of Johnny Cage, watch the face. So, and I remember when we talked to you earlier about they had the trailer, the spoof trailer of Johnny Cage, Uncaged,
Yeah, that was
and
fun.
that was a lot of fun. So I hope we get to see more of that coming.
Hmm.
So it really does depend on like the beats and the timing and his charisma of being funny. We haven't really seen him in a comedic role. At least I don't remember. It could have been a while.
I guess if you
Maybe
want to
Xena?
count Thor,
He was
Thor
around.
Ragnarok.
Thor Ragnarok. Yeah, but he was still like, "Brr."
Yeah, yeah, he was.
Even in Xena, he was kind of like, because he was Julius Caesar.
Was he in Xena that long ago?
He was
Wow.
in Xena.
Oh,
Anybody
jeez.
who is Australian or New Zealand basically ends up being in Xena or Hercules.
Yeah,
So I said Australia, yeah, Australia and New Zealand, because they're right
Australia.
next to
Yeah.
each other. So,
Mhm.
so then let's just kind of get into it. I love the trailer. I, of course, love the blood. There are moments from the video games. It was like, yay! It made me really excited. I don't think we had a proper get over here in a while, aside from just the games itself when it comes to movie formats. And then the separation of the body from the innards. That was delicious. So we'll get into that. But it starts off first obviously with the one and only Johnny Cage. We see him there, and he is a action star of the 80s
90s.
and with 90s.
Yeah.
No, here, no, is it
They
90s?
mentioned 90s
They
when that
mentioned like
fan when the fan shows up and she's like, "Hey, you're Johnny Cage," and he said something
he
about,
needs to
"Oh,
be
the 90s
rebooted, and
movies
he was like,
growing up."
that
Yeah,
went
he
out in the
wants to reboot.
90s.
He mentioned
So
90s,
that's why I was like, is it the 80s? And then they tried to do it in the 90s and it just didn't work. Like they extended
yeah.
it too many times.
Mhm.
So he's an action star. He can start in Cool Hand Cage, Hard to Cage, Rebel Without a Cage, and then Uncaged Fury. And so he is now a washed up, failed actor that we saw from the franchise. We see him drinking alone at the bar, looking like we have here with some of his projects that he has done. Maybe he was expecting a signing and nobody came,
Yeah.
or maybe it's just memorabilia that he has in his car. I'm going to assume he's not living in a lap of luxury, so maybe he's actually living in his car. Who knows? But
Mhm.
he is approached by um, Sonia, and I want to say this is not Raiden.
That is rated.
It is Raiden, yes.
Yeah.
So he is approached by Sonia and Raiden, and basically he has said like, "You've been chosen to fight," and what the heck you mean chosen to fight and what? So it's like in Mortal Kombat. And this is when, they take him in through the portal and he sees all these different fight scenes and these different fights going around. and they want him to train in the Mortal Kombat. And basically, it's saying like, if not, the fate of your world is going to be gone. Everyone is going to just be annihilated if you don't do this. And so that basically leads him onto a journey of learning, obviously, what Mortal Kombat is, watching the different fight trainings. We see kind of a sequence where a guy is completely murdered, and none of these murders are like happy murders. These are like very bloody, violent, disgusting, delicious murders. And he's like, I don't want to do this. But obviously, we all know they convince him. It looks like one of the trainers could be Katana or not, or we don't know. But yeah, basically, it's just a big war and him kind of fight. He has to fight there, and it's pretty straightforward trailer from that. So, what are your thoughts on the trailer itself? And of course, we have the multitude of characters that they did introduce, which is much different from the first one. We do have the return of Kano, and obviously the return of Raiden, and the return of Sonya, and the return of Steve Harvey, which is so. What were your thoughts on kind of that sequence and kind of Johnny Cage himself?
I'm sorry. So, like, what was the question exactly on just the beginning of the trailer? Like, what you're talking about, or
Yeah,
the
what was
trailer
your
as a
thoughts
whole?
on the trailer? Because it was a very quick trailer. It's only like
Yeah.
2 minutes. So, what are your
Yeah.
thoughts on the process of them picking him up? I don't want to do this. He doesn't have any powers, and it makes you known. I don't have any powers, and he says, I don't have magical arms. Lightning doesn't shoot out of my hands. And he's looking at as you climb up, it gets more hard. It gets harder, and you see who he ends up. He gets Baka. Was that Baka?
Baraka.
Baraka. Same thing.
I don't think that was his design looked a little bit different, but Baraka is a type of species, so there's hundreds, if not thousands, of them, like his type. So maybe they were fighting like another one of that species. I forget Tarkatan, Tar something. I forget the species name, but anyways, I think he was fighting somebody else. But it is Baraka species, Tarkatan. I think that's what it was. Oh, that's Noob Sidebot. That's different. The trailer itself was fun, ridiculous. It just looks like it's just supposed to be a fun video game movie, and that's what I'm looking for, and that's what I like. I don't need it, like, again, I don't need it to be grounded. So it one of the a lot of so I a lot of people thought that I badmouthed the first movie with an opinion that I had about it, and that was that a lot of the costumes looked like it was just a bunch of people cosplaying as the video game characters. The costumes were a bit ridiculous, and that was not necessarily a bad thing, because my point is that you want it to be fun and ridiculous and all that. So this kind of came off as that too. Like Raiden, as soon as I saw Raiden in the trailer, it was jarring to see him in the full video game getup, and I was like, "Whoa!" Like, that's Raiden right there. He looks like he's wearing. It looks like he's cosplaying Raiden. Like, it looks like a fun, just video gamey type of things, and that's I love it, and I can see how a lot of people are gonna hate it, but I love it. I'm looking past the low production value of it and just take it for what it is. It's a freaking video game movie that you're supposed to just have fun with. So I enjoyed the trailer from beginning to end. I love all the little references. Like you showed there, it was Noob Saibot, which is in the lore is Sub-Zero when he dies. So just like Scorpion, when he died as a human, and he gave up his soul to become Scorpion, pretty much, Sub-Zero pretty much does the same thing in a sense. It becomes Noob Saibot, which is what you see fighting over there with Scorpion when he did the double chain get over here, and then you see Karl Urban fighting him with I think it was with Kano. Yeah, that was pretty cool. One one thing I never understood, and there's one thing that still upsets me to this day, is a nitpicky thing, is that throughout the whole first movie, Scorpion doesn't know English, rightfully so, because he's from Japan. He was raised in Japan. He died in Japan. Doesn't know English. He talks in Japanese the entire movie, even when he shows up and resurrected as Scorpion. But for some reason, in the end, he does "get over here," as is all of a sudden he knows those 3 words in English and that's it. That was very weird, but at the same time, just suspend your disbelief for a minute and just have fun with it because it's a freaking video game movie. So he does the same thing here, which is still it never gets old. It's great. So that's a good scene too. The whole trailer was just fun and I loved it. It's stupid fun.
I completely agree with you, and this is kind of what we wanted. You just want a video game adaptations. Don't complicate it with real world situations. Don't add random kids. Now it could get a little bit more complicated because they do add some things. The mom is there. We get to Katana's mom. We get to
Mm-hmm.
Katana's dad. So they do give us extended family members that I don't know whether or not people would want. Do we want full stories of a Katana character and her background and her parents? Or do we just want something nice and simple? So
Well,
that is another big thing.
it
Yeah.
depends because I mean, Katana's a big character in the lore in general. Like, I'd hate to have her do character development in this movie, and then all of a sudden, like kill her off or dismiss her, because there was like a character in the first movie, the flying one. I forget her name, Kitara or something like that. Kintara, I can't remember her. The flying demon one, and like they show her a bunch of times in the movie, and then she does one move, and then she gets sliced, and then she's dead, and she's done. And then on top of that, Melina was in the movie, and they didn't do any character development with her, but she's supposed to be a big deal also, which was surprising. And then now they killed her off, so technically that's Katana's sister in the lore. So how are they going to fix that or deal with that? So it can be a bit confusing and a little bit worrisome about how they're going to go about the story.
So then, kind of, let's just break down the characters that we do know that is going to be there, because that should provide some kind of insight. We obviously know that we have Mr. Johnny Cage as Karl Urban is Johnny Cage, which is somewhere. So we do know we have Johnny Cage. We have Steve Harvey is back as Jax. That's not Steve, but that's always been the running joke because he looks like a Steve
He
Harvey.
looks so much like Steve Harvey.
We have Jade, which is not Jade Cargill. Many people thought we were going to get Jade Cargill in this movie.
That would not make sense.
Well, look, The Miz is Johnny Cage.
That wouldn't make sense either because The Miz is an awful actor.
Ooh, shots fired. That's not
come at me, Miz.
Ooh. So then we also have Katana, which is played by Adeline Rudolph. Should we have Katana in there? So those fans will be fanning, and we've seen some of the fan action within the trailer. Any thoughts on her? Is she one of your favorites?
I don't know who that
Can you hear me?
Yeah, I don't know who that is.
Katana.
I know who Katana is. I thought you were talking about the actress. I think you're talking
no,
about the actress.
I was talking about in the trailer. We did see some of the like the actual literal fans in action.
Okay.
So,
yeah. That was really cool. Yeah. A little spinny.
We have her.
Kind of hovering.
So we do know that in the game, she is a princess of, what is it, Edina? Edina? I think it's Edina or Edina.
I can't remember.
She is the daughter of Queen Sindel and the love interest for Liu Kang. She is also one of the most important figures in the fight to stop Outworld from conquering all of reality. So we do have that, and we do know that we will have her mother and her father there. So we will get some of that. Maybe some romance between her and Liu Kang. I just want to fight him.
That was another sad moment that they didn't work through in the first movie either, is that Liu Kang is pretty much the main character in all of Mortal Kombat, and they relegated him to a side character in the first movie. So I'd like to see some more with Liu Kang.
That is true. We have Raiden, as we've seen earlier with the lightning striking out of his arms. Out of his hands. And you said that you liked him. So that should work out perfectly fine there. And we know, would you like to shed some light of his powers? Aside from, is it just the lightning?
Well, I mean, lightning is all he likes to show off and do, but he's a literal god of thunder and lightning. So he can pretty much like mess around with time. He could mess around with space. He could do a bunch of cool godly like stuff, but he purposely limits his own power to kind of just help out the humans in Mortal Kombat tournament and the
And
rules and all that stuff.
he's also a protege of Liu
Huh?
Kang.
What?
He's also the protege. And he was in the first film.
Oh, Liu Kang
So,
is? Yeah.
mhm.
Yeah.
So, he could be there as well as maybe, and it also looked like he was a mentor. So he's gonna probably be Johnny Cage's mentor within
Yeah.
the movie.
Yeah.
That should be somewhat of fun. We talked about Johnny Cage himself. Then, of course, we have by
Bihan.
Han. Bihan. See, this is why you're here. Bihan.
That's
What are your
Sub-Zero.
thoughts on Bihan? Why
So
don't they
that's
just call him Sub-Zero?
well, because he's dead. So Sub-Zero is gone. Like that. So Bihan is his real name, and Bihan becomes Noob Saibot. So I don't know why they're not calling him Noob Saibot. It is a stupid name, and there's a funny lore reason why his name is Noob Saibot, and it's a stupid name. So I completely understand why they're calling him just Bihan. Noob Saibot is just Tobias Boon backwards. Tobias Boon is the two developers from the original Mortal Kombat names pushed together. That's all it is.
That's clever, but hilarious.
Yeah.
Clever. So, of course, we have also Liu Kang, which is the big main hoo-ha of the star. So, are you excited to see him return?
Yeah, definitely, of course.
He's like, yeah, I'm happy. Then, of course, we have, which one is that?
Sindel.
Sindel. Yeah, it's so hard for me to see. So we have Sindel. What are your thoughts on Sindel?
It's better than what they'll have in Mortal Kombat Annihilation. I just it's hell's god awful. So I just hope they do Sindel justice, and yeah, I hope they focus on the story with her and the father and the kind of like the betrayal love interest of Shao Kahn with Sindel and Katana kind of in the middle of it. So I hope that dynamic is still there.
Okay. And then of course we have Sonya Blade, which I remember growing up. All the men was like, "Oh my God, Sonya." So, what are your thoughts on Sonya? She doesn't really have powers.
She does. In the end of the first movie, they all end up having powers, and that's one of the things that I was just like, it's a predictable thing that we're gonna see probably at the end of Mortal Kombat 2, is that the trailer focused on, oh, Johnny Cage doesn't have powers. You don't have powers. I don't have powers. Why am I here? You know, at the end of the movie, he's gonna have powers. Everybody's gonna have powers. So it's like, why even mention that?
Okay. All right. Okay. So then, of course, we have after that Baraka, which I call Baka.
Oh, okay. So the design on him, so it was Baraka in the trailer then, because the design,
I do know something.
The design. So Baraka typically doesn't have the blue face paint on him, but because of the design on his poster, I guess the one that we were seeing in the trailer was Baraka. So yeah, that's interesting. They changed the design a little bit.
Yeah. So he will have the makeup and he will have the full prosthetics, and he will have everything that's there. So you said that he was part of the Tarkatans. Is that right?
What it's called? Tarkatans.
Yeah.
Tarkatans. Sorry, I'm gonna look that up.
Tarkatans. I'm dyslexic, child.
Tarkata. Yes, Tarkata.
He's something. He's a part of something. So then we also have Shang Tsung.
Yeah.
Thoughts on that?
He was completely absent from the trailer. I'm kind of surprised. So I'm wondering what they're gonna do with him. But I'm excited he's back. He's an important character too.
He's very important. He is connected also to Cole. So he is back. Scorpion. That is a huge fan favorite as well.
Yeah.
So Scorpion is from Shogun. That's the actor from Shogun, which we've
Ah.
seen earlier when he wasn't all dressed up in that big group scene with them together.
Mm-hmm.
So, what are your thoughts on him? They still see who's in the back. That is not him,
No,
but
that's
he's in one of them scenes when he's in the group scene.
yeah, that's Liu Kang. Yeah, I'm glad he's back too. The movie wouldn't be the movie without him, honestly, and especially if you're gonna have another showdown with him and Bihan. So you got to have him.
I completely agree. So
It's
this
very
is
strange too because they Scorpion is such a beloved character, but in the original movies and in the original the original movies and the original video games, he's a villain. He's always been a villain. So it's interesting how people love him so much that they just turned him into a good guy.
and then he's the one who says, "Get over here."
Yeah. Gotta have that.
Just give me toasty. So, what are your thoughts on Shao Kahn?
Shao Kahn.
Shao Kahn.
Shaka
Yep,
Khan.
there you go. Yep.
He's there. Not much really happens. It like they show him kill somebody real quick. I guess that was like to show like his power, but it was really such a quick scene in the trailer that it doesn't really say anything to me. I didn't really feel much like with his presence in the trailer. He didn't seem like the big bad villain he's supposed to be. There is that moment that is cool with Katana fighting him and like the little buzzsaw blade is like hitting his helmet and stuff, and it looks like he's just taking it, like he's literally putting his face into it, like he doesn't care. So I guess like his helmet's like that strong where he has nothing to worry about. But I just didn't feel his presence in this trailer. I didn't like it.
I completely agree with you, but it is interesting because he looks like he is one of the big main villains for this movie. And to see him, in the trailer, coming laughing off, being attacked, it was like, so they have to come with more heat than that. So you gotta bring the smoke and all
Second
that
trailer,
stuff.
hopefully.
Second trailer. This does come out in October, so we will have a lot of trailers that will follow. So don't need to worry about that. There will be a lot more stuff in regards to that. Did we do this one? We just did this one.
So, he's back. Okay.
He's back. So I know you're very happy for him to return.
I guess.
And then of course she's like, I guess Cole. Good old Cole.
Cole can go away.
Yeah,
I don't even know why he's even back. Just like, no offense to the actor himself. I feel bad for the actor because he did a good job. It's just the character itself is just useless and pointless. I'm sorry. Like, go do something else.
But he can bring the MMA. Ugh. Yeah. MMA. Yeah. With Johnny Cage's
there's plenty of other characters to focus on.
But remember, he was supposed to be destined to save everyone.
So do you think that Cole is still going to be the main character, but the marketing is more focused on Karl Urban because of his name?
I hope not. But that does seem to be the case. Because remember, at the end, they defeated the dude, and then he was sent on a mission. So maybe it's, okay, what if it's both? What if this is a whole franchise in terms of we keep recruiting new people, right? And then at the end, we get the wrap up with, Avengers. Say, Cole, like the Avengers version of this. So we had Cole's installment. The second one will be Johnny Cage. I don't know if now we have the third one being the finale of that, or maybe it keeps continuing. But maybe this is now Johnny Cage's story, with Cole taking more of a back seat and being like a trainer as well. So that could happen.
Yeah, I guess.
He's like, I hate that.
I hate anything that's involved with him. I still don't see the point.
Well, then maybe he dies in the opening and we're all happy.
And that's the thing, and that's what's sad about it too. If they killed him off, and I'm not gonna say I speak for everyone, but I feel like everyone's gonna be like, meh, okay, move on. I don't think anyone's gonna shed a tear for this guy. Like, he's not an important. You already had 30 years worth of characters for Mortal Kombat, but you decide to do your own like like original guy. I just feel like it was a waste.
It's true.
I also hope that Karl Urban outshines him in the movie. Like he stands out in the movie and like kind of, you know, he's more of like the standout person.
I think so. I hope so. I hope they're not trying to throw us, because they gave us a teaser trailer and it kind of made it look like this is going to be his story. Meet Johnny Cage, and
Yeah.
here's his backstory.
Watch that be the first 15 minutes, and then it's everything else is still Cole.
But then we did that before. There have been a lot of movies. Scream, for example, where we thought Drew Barrymore is starring in the movie, and then like they offer in the first segment.
Yep.
So who knows? Or like in that other movie, I Know What You Did Last Summer, which everyone should go see. I think it's Friday. And then lastly, here we have Mr. Kano. I liked Mr. Kano. He was just, see, but here's the thing though. Kano reminded me of what Karl Urban is bringing to Johnny Cage.
Yeah.
Gruff, complaining,
yep,
muscly, beard, maybe doesn't shower every week. So I'm just wondering if we're just getting repeat characters. Except for one is like, I'm from Earth and I'm an action movie star with a field career. So that's what, it should be very interesting. So then kind of like that is our kind of thoughts. Of course, there were some lovely photos we have. Obviously, we've talked about Johnny Cage, and we have, all of his stuff. He's a washed up actor. Everyone came in. This is Raiden and Sonya coming in. And he's going through the portal. Now he's in Mortal Kombat land. That's when we meet Katana with those lovely fans. I thought it was a really great design. You called them cosplay.
Yeah, I don't know. Hers look a little bit more expensive. Her getup looks more appropriate. I guess maybe it's because it's darker. I just saw Raiden's costume and it looked like literally a costume. So it was a bit off-putting. And again, it's not a bad thing. It's a freaking video game movie. Like it's just that it just stands out to me is all I'm saying.
Costumes should not look like costumes. And of course, we have a lovely fight sequence there. And this is the very brutal murder. And just when Johnny Cage is like, nope. And of course, that is the realm.
What is that? That's Kung Lao and somebody else. There's Jade. Shout out to what was her name? Tati Gabriel. Shout out to her. I'm glad she's doing like more stuff. Like I remember seeing her. Oh, man, I can't remember where I saw her from. I saw her a while back, and she did such a good job, and she's finding all these little roles that are like supporting roles, but she does such a good job with them now. So I'm glad she's picking up a lot more stuff.
I completely agree. So shout outs to her. That's more of Jade. Then of course we have that hat is just delicious, which you would call a costume.
Yes, and the blue contacts.
That's when you get Kano. And Steve Harvey as
that
Jack.
looks good. Like his arms look good. I guess that's CGI, but it looks good though.
And excellently shot of Raiden. He's like, no. And then that's when I would assume a training sequence.
No, they're definitely
maybe we'll
fighting.
get a montage.
Yeah, that's a cool design. That is really cool.
So you like
Baraka looks nice.
More flipping and flopping. More fighting. Much fighting. That I love that. That was hilarious. It just looks like more training, and then you have got more of. It looks like he's the big bad villain for this. Baraka.
Yeah, Baraka. No, Shao Kahn is.
Well, one of the big bad villains.
Yeah.
And of course, this is the lovely Get Over Here segment. where he literally rips the soul out of his body. And that was what you were talking about before, where like it does no damage to him. He's leaning in.
He just takes it, yeah.
And that right there was just gorgeous.
I don't think he's dead in that scene there.
Heroes never die. So that's kind of everything that we of Mortal Kombat. It was only like 2 minutes and some change. So I'm excited. You're excited. Let us know if you're excited for this lovely movie that will be out in October. Finally get another sequel. And hopefully it should be good. Thoughts and prayers that it's good. So I've been your host, Dana, joined by Mr. Danny Martinez. Do you have any final words, Mr. Martinez?
Leave comments. Let's chat and debate about video game versus movies.
All right. We will talk to you later. Have a great day and stay toasty.
Toasty.